Foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rachakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders that rule well. And salutation and much respect to Akim out there pushing this word out, truth and sincerity. Alright? First and foremost, Shalom. I'm a Hebrew Israelite here to prophesy the downfall of this wicked kingdom and to speak about the upliftment of the true people of the Most High, which are these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. What you see on this sign. Alright? You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the names that you're called today is not the names that the Most High gave you. That was not your original names. All right? You are the 12 tribes of Israel. All right? We come from the land of Israel. All right? That's our homeland, man. And right now we have a bunch of imposters in there, all right, claiming to be us, which are these so-called Jews, these Amalekites. Okay? This is Jeremiah 17 verse 4, and it reads, "And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies." All right, so this is him speaking to Jeremiah, man. All right, this is the Most High speaking to Jeremiah, saying he's going to forget who he was, forget his heritage. That never happened to Jeremiah back in the Babylonian captivity, man. Alright? From the day Jeremiah was born to the day he died, he knew he was an Israelite, man. Alright? This was talking about this time that we're in now. Okay? Because all the prophets came back. They come back into their lot. Alright? So Jeremiah is here today. Okay? But guess what? He didn't know at one point that he was an Israelite. Why? Because what? The slavery, man. That's the main reason why we didn't know we were Israelites. Okay? The Most High has stripped it away by what? Making us serve our enemies. Let me read that again from the top. This is Jeremiah 17 and 4. "And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in a land which thou knowest not." Alright? "For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever." Okay, so that's not talking about the Babylonian land. Okay, that's talking about a land, a new Babylon, really, okay, which is America. All right, because what, we served our enemies and we also lost our heritage. Okay, that never happened these other times, man, in history, man. The Most High never allowed Israel to forget who they were. Even in the Roman Empire, man, Israel always knew who they were. Okay, well, why do you think they celebrated Passover? You had Israelites coming to Israel every year to celebrate the Passover, man. Okay? Because they knew that they were Israelites. But in this time, after this slavery, Israelites forgot who they were, man. It was beaten out of them, man. When you watch the movie Roots, man, okay? That shows you he changed, the guy changed his name, right? At first he was fighting, but the more whips he got, the more, you know, he started to give in more. That's what happened. The Most High allowed us to discontinue from our heritage. Let me get Deuteronomy 28. That goes back to the curses, man. This is Deuteronomy 28. This is Deuteronomy 28. I'll start at verse 64. "And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even to the other." Right? From the one end of the earth even unto the other, "and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind." So the Most High scattered us into all these different nations. Okay? One of the main scatterings was what? The transatlantic slave trade, man. We went to these different lands, man. Okay? You have Israelites all over the world because of the transatlantic slave ship, man. Alright? Transatlantic slave trade, excuse me. That's part of the reason why Israelites are all around the world today. Alright? And it says, "And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee." Matter of fact, I'm gonna skip to verse 68. "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, man. So that's what happened, man. And that's not talking about ancient Egypt, because the Israelites never went back to ancient Egypt, man. Okay, the Israelites went to the modern day Egypt, which is spoken about in Revelations. Okay, which is what? Which is America. Okay, because Egypt just means oppression, man, or double straits. That's all Egypt means, man. You hear him speaking about taking Israel out of Egypt, like far past the time when they were in Egypt, because Egypt is symbolic, man. It's symbolic for slavery. All right. So every time it speaks about Egypt, it's not talking about ancient Egypt. Okay, it's speaking about, a lot of times it's speaking about the modern day Egypt, or the particular captivity that it was speaking about at that time. All right. Let's get Revelations, man. This is Revelations 11 and 8. I was thinking about Revelations 18 for some reason. So Revelations 11 and 8, and it reads, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified," man. Okay, so that great city, all right, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, is what it's speaking about in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, man. It's a different type of Egypt, man. Okay, why is it called Sodom? Because America promotes all types of homosexuality, transgenderism, all right, and it pushes that and forces that upon these other nations. That's why it's called Sodom, man. Why was Sodom destroyed? Sodom was destroyed for those type of lewd and wicked, filthy acts, man. But America promotes that, all right? That's why it's called spiritually Sodom. And the reason it's called spiritually Egypt is because what? You had the Israelites in slavery, man, all right? All the tribes. They didn't just have Judah in slavery. They had all the tribes in slavery, man, all right? From the so-called Negro, the so-called North American Indian, all right? The so-called Mexican, so-called Puerto Rican, all the tribes are there in America, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, so this is the reason, all right. This is the reason why we don't remember our heritage, man. Okay, because of that captivity. All these other captivities that I'm mentioning, right? Like the Babylonian, the Persian captivity. We knew we were Israelites, man. And this captivity is something different, man. Okay, Esau did a hell of a devilish act, man. All right, these devils did a great work with that, man. Okay, what did they do? They made sure that we forgot our heritage, man. And they called you what? Black, African, all right? Which is not your nationality, man. Okay? There's no such thing as black people or white people, man. That's something that Esau made up, the devil, man, in order to deceive the planet, man. Okay? Before you came in the slave ships, what were you calling yourself? Why was there a Fort Judah on the side on the west coast of Africa, man? A Fort Judah, Fort Benjamin. Those are tribes of the nation of Israel, man. There's a reason why it was called that. All right? Because what? We knew we were Israelites, man. That's why the Igbo, to this day, they believe that they're Israelites. They practice those customs. Okay? But now, what do you so-called Negroes do in America now? What do you so-called Negroes do in Jamaica? All right? You North American Indians, you Gadders. What are you doing right now? You're not taking on that culture. You're taking on some different culture, man. Some culture that was just, you know, some synthetic culture that has nothing to do with your history, man. It has nothing to do with what the Most High gave us, man. Okay? Especially Judah, man. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, man. All right? They're the furthest away from that, man. All right? Because they don't even wear garments with fringes on them or nothing like that. They're starting to do that now because they're waking up. But you see, at least Gad and the Latin tribes, they had, you know, they already, you know, they might have a garment in their house that replicates their ancient ways, man. You know, because they used to wear fringes when Esau came over here. All right, but you Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, you didn't have none of that, man. You just became completely Edomites, man. Okay, you just totally took on the ways of the Edomites. Okay. And clearly that was to no avail, because the Most High said what? And amongst these nations you will not find ease, man. You will not find rest. Okay, why? Because they're your enemies, man. Point blank, period. So you Jake's talking about let's vote and all this foolishness. That's not going to change the situation, man. You're still going to have the devil over you, man. Okay, the devil's still going to run the society, man. And he's going to rig the game for him to win and for you to lose. All right? So you trying to go out and vote and trying to protest and all this bullshit. Right? Where has that gotten you for the past 200-something years, man? That hasn't got you anywhere, okay? Because if it got you somewhere, you wouldn't need to be protesting today, all right? If it got you somewhere, all right? But that's not what these Edomites don't respect, that, man. The only thing Esau respects, all right, is violence, man. That's the only thing these Edomites respect, okay? They ain't gonna respect any type of protest or anything like that. And I'm not inciting violence, I'm just saying a fact, all right? They only respect violence, okay? So you're trying to come with that